Beginning of the story, we see a jail which was built on a deserted island. Today, new prisoners were being brought inside this jail, one of whom was Advent. As soon as he met the warden, Advent told him that, "Sir, please help me. I have not done anything. I have been sent here on false charges," to which the warden replied very calmly that, "I know if you had done something, you would have been thrown into a jail within the country itself. Only those people are brought to this jail so far away against whom a conspiracy has been hatched." After this, the warden beat him a lot, and then he was locked in a room of the jail where there was a wooden door and a small window. This door used to open only once a year, when the warden used to come inside to beat them without any reason. Time kept passing, and being locked alone in the room, Admit started feeling very troubled. He had written on the wall that God will get me justice, but slowly, when he spent 12 years in that jail, he lost faith in God as well. He thought that he will be locked up here for the rest of his life. But then one day, suddenly, the floor of his room started rising from below. This strange incident blew away the senses of this admin. He felt as if a ghost had appeared before him. After getting scared for a while, admin saw that a person was coming out from under the ground. This person coming out from under the ground was Adhi, who was a prisoner of the floor below this. He was digging a tunnel for the last 5 years. This thought took such a turn that the tunnel led straight to Andaman's room, as if it was a sign from God. With Avik's arrival, admin got a person to talk to because he was going mad after being locked alone in a room for so long. After this, Avik very excitedly called the admin to his room, whereas Edward was very happy that he would not have to spend time making marks on the wall with stones. And as soon as Edward entered Abi's room, he was surprised to see the scene there. Abi's room was not like that of other prisoners. It could be said to be like a proper hotel. There were chairs for his comfort, and God knows how many books were lying on the shelf. Abe promised the admin that if he helps him in digging the tunnel, he can teach him IB in the remaining time. The admin did not have much to do anyway, so he immediately agreed. After this, both of them were about to start the digging work when they heard the sound of the guard's footsteps. Trembling with fear, the admin immediately ran towards his room, and then he quickly prepared the garbage basket because the guard was about to come to his floor too. In this jail, the door of the room opens only twice, once to take out the garbage and once to serve dinner. Apart from this, both of them will have a lot of time during the whole day in which they can comfortably dig the tunnel without worrying about getting caught. After this, Abi cut a small bunch of his hair and took out a spark from the stone and lit the hair and lit a candle. Then somehow both of them entered the tunnel and started digging further. There was very little space below, so digging was not an easy task. Abi estimated that if they kept moving at the same speed, it would take them at least 3 more years to reach outside the ground. One day, while taking rest, Advent came to know from Abi's book that Abi also used to have a very good swordsman soldier. After this, the admin insisted that if you don't teach him swordsmanship, then he won't start digging immediately. Admin now had only one aim in his life, to take revenge from his enemies. After listening to him, Abi agreed to teach admin the skill of fighting. Abi started explaining that speed is the biggest strength of a warrior. Abi thought of teaching admin a technique from the drops falling in a room. He passed his hand through the stream of dripping water so fast that it did not get wet, and said that the day your hands become this fast, you will become a capable warrior. After this, Abba went back to digging, and Adman continued his practice. After a few days, Abba made a fake sword by breaking the wood from the door, and started teaching Adman swordsmanship in a good way. When his fencing training ended, Adman would focus on his studies. Now his entire day would be spent in studying, digging, and practicing fencing. After a few months, Adman's fencing improved tremendously. Now Abi started to see that Advan had become a better swordsman than him. One evening, during a conversation, Advan came to know that Abi used to work for a very rich family named Stadias. His master had earned a lot of wealth, and now Napoleon has imprisoned Abi to get information about this treasure. This angered the admin a lot because he too was locked inside due to Napoleon's deceit. Day by day, the digging of the tunnel was taking them closer to freedom. One day they started seeing the roots of plants in the ground of the tunnel, from which you calculated that both of them are very close to getting out. Both of them were very happy to know this, but soon something happened that ruined their happiness. The tunnel started shaking rapidly, and then with a loud noise, a lot of stones and soil fell on them, under which Abi got buried. Panicked, the admin immediately removed the stones and took Abi out. Actually, he had dug in the wrong direction. He must have made a mistake while digging the tunnel because a food box also fell down from above. A very heavy stone fell on Yabe's chest and he was seriously injured. He could have died at any time due to the injury in his lungs. In his last moments, Abe told the admin in a weak voice that a book will be found under a stone in the room. Something is hidden under that book too. Advan found a map of the same treasure from there, because of which Abe was imprisoned here. Admin was very stunned after seeing the map. Abane promised him that he would always use this wealth for good and stay away from wrongdoings as much as possible. Abane died shortly after Adane made the promise. There were tears in Edward's eyes because he felt that he was alone again. Just then the guard came to give food and Admin hid behind the wall. The guard called out but got no response. When he came inside to check and saw the dead body ahead, he panicked and went to report to his seniors. Edward quickly hid the mouth of the tunnel and went back. After some time, the guard returned with some of his colleagues and put Abe's body in a body bag. Edwards was hiding in the tunnel and waiting for them to leave. As soon as the guards left, the admin silently entered the room and started looking at Happy's dead body. Looking at the dead body, an idea came to the admin's mind. He quickly replaced his dead body. After some time, the warden came with his men to take the dead body away from there. This jail was on a deserted island, so they thought that it would be better to throw the dead body into the sea. During this time, a guard went to the admin's room with food, but when no one even uttered a word despite repeated knocking of the door, the guard got suspicious and opened the door and went inside, but he found not the admin but Abe's dead body there. After which the guard went shouting to call the warden. The warden wanted to finish this work quickly, and that day there were stormy winds. The sea waves were hitting the rocks, so it was very difficult to hear anything. The warden was trying to listen to the guard's conversation, but in the meantime, the admin quickly stole the warden's keys. But due to this shock, the warden also fell straight into the sea along with the admin. As soon as he fell into the sea, the admin quickly freed himself with the help of keys, and as soon as he swam up, he looked back at the warden. Years of anger was filled inside him, and he ruthlessly killed the warden by drowning him in the water. After this, he kept swimming far away in this sea without looking back. The next morning, when the admin opened his eyes, he was on an island. I don't know how he reached here alive. He himself could not understand how he reached here alive, but he was still not free. A group of pirates were sitting and watching him comfortably. Now Advent thought that he would be killed, but the leader of the robbers, Luigi, gave him a chance. He said that he would leave Advent alive. Now on one condition, Advent will have to fight one of his traitor companions, Zakopon, whom they were going to bury alive anyway. If Zuckerberg wins, he can join their team again, but they will kill Admin. But if Admin wins, they will release him. Soon this fight started between the two. Prokropa was very skilled in swordsmanship, but the technique learnt from Admin proved to be very powerful. Despite attacking him several times, Prokropa could not even touch Admin. As soon as he got the chance, Admin attacked him swiftly and brought Prokropa down to the ground. And instead of killing him, Admin told Louis that, "Look, both of us will work for you. We are useful people. Why are you killing us without any reason? Finding me and the pirates is not an easy task." Louis was pleased to see the skill and kindness of the admin, and he spared the lives of both. During the conversation on the ship, the admin told his whole story to the captain, after which the captain freed the admin so that he could fulfill his purpose of revenge. Jacopo also joined the admin. Edward had saved his life, so he promised that he would always be loyal to him. Edward asked Jacopo to arrange for a boat till he could finish some of his personal work. Late at night, Edward secretly went to his old master's house. But everything had changed. The old master did not even recognize him. He came to know that his father also died of grief due to his imprisonment. This news shocked Admin deeply, and he got the biggest shock when he came to know that his old friend Montego had framed him, and then Montego married his fiancée Mercedes. The next morning, Admin and Jacopo courageously boarded a boat and set out in the direction where the treasure was marked on the map. They searched every inch of the island, but could not find the treasure. But then Admin thought that there might be something under the water. He dived into an underground pond near the place marked on the map and found many old guns under his feet. As soon as he opened a chest, he saw glittering gold. Jacob was overjoyed, and he filled the boat with as much gold as he could. But to carry the entire treasure, they needed a bigger ship. But Admin was still more driven by the fire of revenge than by happiness. He decided that this wealth would be used for only one purpose: to pave the way for his revenge. First of all, Admin bought a big luxurious house and presented himself to everyone as the new Rice of France. Along with this, he invited the other rich people of his neighborhood to a party in his grand house. Soon his feasts and royal style made him famous among all. Rich people now started taking interest in Admin, but actually this Admin was doing all this to attract the attention of his treacherous friend Montague, but he left without talking to him. Admin's old fiancée Mercedes married Montague and could never find happiness. After spending all his money on gambling and alcohol, Montessori was in no position to repay the money he had borrowed from the bank. On top of that, Admoment played such a trick that it became difficult for Montessori to arrange money from anywhere else. The youth informed Admin that Monty also has a son named Albert. After this, Admin, along with a beautiful woman and his robber friends, arranged for Albert to take a fake nap so that Admin himself could become the savior and save him. The plan worked, and Albert felt that the vice president has saved his life. Thanking him, Albert requested Advan that his birthday is after a few days. He must come to that party. Advan showed some tantrums, but finally agreed. In the same party, Albert got his father Montago killed by the Admin. Both of them were face to face after 13 years. Admin's appearance had changed so much that Montago did not recognize him. But as soon as Mercedes saw Admin, she felt a strange feeling, and she could not understand who it was. But after some time, when Admonde was moving his hair in a special way, Versatis recognized him immediately because this was an old habit of the Adman. Adman knew that Montago was in dire need of money, and that is why he started boasting that, "Brother, I have got a lot of gold from a special place, and tomorrow 100 kyrds of gold will arrive here by ship. And Wilfold, sir, you should get everything cleared with the police." Wilfold was a corrupt magistrate who had complete control over the police of this area. After listening to Adward's words, Wilfold, along with Montago, made a plan in which they will loot Adward's treasure before he comes here, and then all the gold will be theirs. On this, Montago said that there is a man who can help him in this work. Actually, these three people were also involved in sending Admin to jail, and Admin had now deliberately gathered them. Well, after the party was over, Mercedes secretly sat in Advent's horse carriage. Crying, she told that Montago betrayed her and said that Advent was hanged. Advent was afraid that this truth might spoil his revenge plan, so he asked Mercedes to go back for now. After this, we saw that Advent's golden ship was looted. The one who did this was Montago's man, from whom Advent had to take revenge. That man was thinking that brother would be an easy robbery. It was fun, but then the guards came there and caught him. He tried to run away. When the admin came from the front, the man tried to fight, but the admin put a rope noose around his neck. Before killing him, the admin told him his real identity so that he could remember for what crime he should die alone. Now the next target was Magistrate Wilfort. Years ago, this magistrate had implicated Admit in the matter of Napoleon's letter. The magistrate's father himself was a supporter of Napoleon, but in order to gain power, the magistrate got his own father killed and got the blame put on Admit and sent him to jail. But now the admin cleverly got the magistrate to tell all this in the course of conversation. Wilford also told everything, because anyway the admin cannot prove all this, but the police was already present in the room, who heard Wilford's entire conversation and arrested him. On the other hand, Montago, who had become bankrupt, was preparing to run away, but Mercedes refused to go with him, and also told him that Albert, her son, is actually the son of Admin and Mercedes. At the time of Admin's arrest, she was pregnant, and due to this compulsion, she married Montago. Montago shouted in anger, but he had no other way. He went to an old fort, where they had hidden all the stolen treasure. When Sindhu opened them, only sand came out from inside, and in the last box there was only a small chess piece, which Montao had not given to Advent. At that very moment, Advent came there and understood who Montao was. Montao, mad with anger, attacked Advent with his sword, but he could not fight Advent. Adamant easily made him fall down with his sword and pinned him against the wall. But just as Adamant was about to do it for the last time, Albert came on the beach and said that I will not let my father die like this. Taking advantage of this thing, he secretly started loading bullets and gunpowder into the gun. Mercedes also reached there and stopped the admin and told him that Albert was his son. On hearing this, the admin lost his senses. On the other hand, Montago aimed his gun at the admin, but Jacopo threw a knife like lightning, which made Montago miss the target, and the bullet still hit Mercedes' shoulder. In this chaos, Monte escaped. Puragement pursued him, but when Montego